Hello, my dear students. Today I'm going to tell you a story from fairy tales. It is Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there was a sweet little girl whom everybody loved. But most of all, she was loved by her grandmother. One day, she gave her a cap and made of red velvet, and because it suited her so well, and also it was the girl's favorite cap. She was called the Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her mother said to her, "Come here, Little Riding Hood, take this piece of cake and this bottle of wine to your grandmother." Her mother told her not to stay on the path and not to talk to anyone because the woods were full of dangerous animals. The wolf thought to himself, "This young tender thing will make a delicious meal. She will taste even better than the old woman. But I must be very cunning so that I can get hold of both of them." For a little while he walked next to Little Riding Hood, and then he said, "Little Red Riding Hood, look at these beautiful flowers here. Why don't you look around? I don't think you even hear the beautiful songs of the birds are singing. You look straight in front of you, and when you were walking, just as if you were going to school. Don't you realize how pleasant it is in the forest?" Little Red Riding Hood looked around, and when she saw how beautiful all the flowers were, she thought, "Grandmother would be very happy if I took her a bunch of fresh flowers. It's so early in the day that I still have plenty of times to get there." She went up the path and went into the wood, looked for flowers. Whenever she picked one, she would spot more beautiful specimen for the abbey, and she went after it, and so went deeper into the forest. The wolf, however, went straight to the grandmother's house and knocked at the door. "Who is outside?" she asked. "Little Red Riding Hood, I'm bringing you cake and wine. Open the door," said the wolf. "Just push down the handle," the grandmother replied. "I'm too weak. I can't get up from my bed." The wolf pushed the door handle down and opened the door. Without saying a word, he went straight up to the grandmother's bed and gobbled her up. Then he put on her clothes and her nightcap and closed the curtains. Little Red Riding Hood had been gathering flowers, and when she had such a big bunch together that she couldn't carry anymore, she remembered her grandmother and went to her house. She was surprised when she saw that her door was left open. And when she went into the room, she felt awfully strange and thought, "Oh dear, I feel a bit frightened today. Normally, I love visiting grandmother." She called, "Good morning," but got no reply. Then she went to the bed and pulled back the curtains. Her grandmother was lying there with her nightcap pulled over her face and looked very strange indeed. "Grandmother, what big ears you have! All the better to hear you with." "Grandmother, what big eyes you have! All the better to see you with." "Grandmother, what big hands you have! All the better to hold you with." "But grandmother, what large teeth you have! All the better to eat you with." Then laughed, cackled. As soon as the wolf had said these words, he took a dash forward out of the bed and gobbled her up. Poor Little Red Riding Hood. When the wolf was full up and he went back to bed, fell asleep, and started to snore extremely loudly. A hunter was just passing the house and thought, "My goodness, this old woman snores very loudly. No, I must go and see if she is all right." He went into the room, and when he came to the bed, he saw that the wolf was lying in it. "I found you at last, you wicked beast," he said. "I've been trying to find you for a long time." He was just about to take his rifle and shoot the beast when it occurred to him that the wolf might have eaten the grandmother and he might still be able to save her. He didn't fire a shot, but took a pair of scissors and then started to cut the sleeping wolf's stomach. When he had made few cuts, he saw Little Red Riding Hood's cap shining through. And after cutting the wolf open a little more, the girl jumped out and shouted, "Oh, I was so afraid. It was very dark in the wolf's stomach." The old grandmother was also saved, but could hardly breathe. The Little Red Riding Hood quickly fetched big stones to fill the wolf's stomach, and when woke up, he wanted to run away. But the stones were so heavy that he immediately collapsed and dropped down dead. All the three were very happy. The hunter skinned the wolf and he took the skin home. The grandmother ate the cake and drank the wine which Little Red Riding Hood had brought to her, and then she recovered from her ordeal. And the Little Red Riding Hood thought, "Never, ever again I will leave the path and go into the woods when mother has forbidden it." So, my dear students, what to learn then from this story? That whenever my mother says something, our mother says something, that is the instruction and instruction. We should not violate our parents' instruction. We should act on it accordingly, without violating them, without deviating from it. So, this much for today. Next day, again one story with moral. Bye.